So massive, man, massive, man. Are we live? This thing was tripping, man. This thing was tripping. But yo, breaking news, man. Massive breaking news. Fabrizio Romano coming out. So wow. And it's not only Fabrizio, David Ornstein. This is major news, right? But apparently, hey, let me just read the statement of the bid, right? We've submitted it. Wow, this is major news, and it's just come in. It has just come in. Obviously, I think a lot of people have heard about the bid, but also apparently we have agreed terms to genuinely sign Benjamin Sesko. So the bid has gone in. Let me just read out the bid, man. The bid, apparently Manchester United have offered a bid of 73 million pounds. So that's around 85 million euros. This is major, but also we know Man United were not actually putting in this bid if he doesn't want to come, right? We only put in a bid like this if the guy genuinely wants to come. And the breaking news right now is that Benjamin Sesko has a verbal agreement in place with Manchester United. So verbal agreement, bro. Verbal agreement. He wants to join Man United over Newcastle. We've made that bid. And it looks like it's going to be official, bro. It looks like it's going to be official because I don't see a situation where Man United will make a bid less than Newcastle. That's the that's the situation right now. Our bid was less than Newcastle. We only make that bid if he agrees personal terms. We only genuinely go out all out if he agrees personal terms. So yeah, the Benjamin Sesko deal, it's really making sense right now. As United, let's see how far this goes. Because first bid in, and let's hear a bit about this. Was Fabrizio Romano. Fabrizio Romano made it clear earlier that okay, this is gonna be the situation, and Man United only make a bid if the player agrees.
99 million euros. I always told you, also in the last video, what makes the difference in this deal is the player, not the club to club. And I keep repeating that because it's the player who will dictate his future. It's Sesko who has to decide, okay, I come to Newcastle, okay, I come to Manchester United.
So Fabrizio is saying, hey, the player dictates. That's why Man United have made a bid less than Newcastle. Newcastle's bid was like 90 million euros. Our bid was 85. So Fabrizio Romano, he did state that, okay, the player is the one that's going to dictate this, right? Where he wants to go, that's where RB Leipzig accept the bid, right? Where the guy wants to go, that's the bid they're going to accept. So Man United, that's why we've actually paid less than Newcastle. Fabrizio Romano broke it down. Where this guy wants to go, that's where we're going to accept. So Fabrizio Romano broke it down extremely well, bro. And people are saying that David Ornstein was the guy to genuinely bring out this bomber, but Fabrizio Romano, he did say this. This was yesterday, bro. He said that this was gonna be the time Man United make a bid.
Newcastle, by sending this bid, are showing their muscles in this deal, and they're also sending a message, not just to Red Bull Leipzig, also to Manchester United, like saying, okay, we are playing with our cards on the table. We are not hiding our cards. Our cards are here. 90 million euros, 80 million euros guaranteed, 10 million euros in add-ons.
So this was Fabrizio Romano breaking down Newcastle's bid, right? Newcastle, they sent 80 million plus 10 million add-ons, and those add-ons, you only achieve them if he genuinely does well. So our bid, it's like 70 plus 10, right? Euros. So we've bid less than these guys, but yo, he's coming, bro. Yo, big up, bro. Hey, thank God, bro. Thank God that we've actually bidden. We've actually made a bid. He might be coming. It might be that Benjamin Sesko time, because we genuinely needed this guy to just come in, stabilize, and let's get this striker situation over and dusted, right? Man United, I don't see a situation where they put in everything they have for a guy that doesn't want to come, right? They put in that massive, they've obviously talked to him, bro. And that's why United, our bid came late, right? Because they were negotiating with the player. The reports have come out to say he has agreed to join Manchester United. He has agreed. The bid is in. All we're waiting for is a situation where these guys accepted, right? Can they accept the bid from Manchester United? That's what we're waiting for right now. That's the final decision. Okay, RB Leipzig, can you accept the bid or not? Because we heard Fabrizio Romano earlier in this video. He said, hey, it's not about the bid. It's not about who bids the highest. It's not about the club to club negotiations. It's about where the player wants to go, right? So where the player wants to go, where Sesko wants to go, that is the bid that's going to get rejected, man. Let's hope it's a here we go soon. Fabrizio Romano, he's literally delivering, man. He is literally delivering because he told us this yesterday. Fabrizio Romano, man. Yesterday, this man was talking yesterday, right? I know people say, hey, David Ornstein, he's the guy that broke the news for the bid, but Fabrizio he kept telling us. And let's see how what the wages are gonna be with Sesko, right? People speculating. Apparently, it's gonna be lower than what Cunha and Mbeumo are earning. So right now, on wages, it's just speculation. But this Sesko agreeing to join Man United, it has concrete legs. And we're also hearing some reports from Sky Sports saying he's open to joining both, but I don't think that's the situation, bro. Man United, they don't make a bid if a player is open to joining both. That doesn't make sense, bro. That genuinely doesn't make sense because Man United, we've been hearing this from Fabrizio, from other journalists saying, hey, Man United only make a bid when they agree terms with the player, right? And that was a consistent narrative from Fabrizio. Man United only make an official bid. Even the Gyökeres situation, Gyökeres, we never made a bid, right? With Gyökeres, we never made a bid. It wasn't really concrete. It wasn't a situation where United went out there to genuinely just do what they need to do. But hey, Fabrizio, man.
Giving Benjamin Sesko the salary he wants. So basically, Newcastle have presented everything on the table. You remember what I told you last week? They are ready to pay whatever it takes. And Leipzig are showing that with facts now. Sorry, Newcastle are showing that to Leipzig with facts now. Not just with words, not just promising things. They show with 90 million euros on the table that they are ready. The message is clear, but it's also clear to Benjamin Sesko. Newcastle, by playing in this way, very strong, very aggressive, Newcastle are telling Sesko, okay, now we are doing everything possible. Money is on the table, is 80 million euros fixed plus 10 in advance. We are giving you what you want. Now you have to decide. This is the message from Newcastle. So Newcastle don't want another situation like Kuku Kitike, like Joao Pedro and others, where you miss out on the race for the player. They want a decision soon. Newcastle will not wait too many days.
Yeah, bro. You're right, bro. If we submitted a bid, it means like there's a concrete. Here we go, coming soon, bro. Because we don't submit a bid. We've heard Omar Barada multiple times. I think let me play that Omar Barada again, right? Let me play what Omar Barada had to say a few 2 days ago. 2 days ago, Omar Barada spoke. Let me play that again so that people can genuinely hear what this man was saying, because this was an interview of Omar Barada 2 days ago. Let me just play the audio right now so that people can genuinely agree, because this man, he doesn't make a bid if the player doesn't want to come. We've heard that's been a constant narrative. Every player we've made an official bid for, they wanted to come to Manchester United. Cunha, he wanted to come. Mbeumo, he wanted to come. This might be another Mbeumo situation where it takes too long, right? Where the the negotiations take too long. This might be another Brian Mbeumo situation where the negotiations, they genuinely take too long. But let's just hear a bit about what Omar Barada, he spoke, man. He spoke, he talked about this. Let's just hear a bit, man.
Omar, we're at the final overseas game of Tour 2025. Have you enjoyed it? It's been amazing. It's been very good. Really pleased with how it's weeks or so. I wouldn't say there's one highlight. We've done 30 events over 2 weeks, and I really enjoyed. That was something quite special. From a football perspective, as we go into the new season, fans get excited after a couple of good performances. The mood in the camp has been noticeably really positive. Yeah, the mood has been good, very good. The the culture, the standards, the values. We're trying to ensure that we create a team spirit that allows the players to compete at the highest level. And we have very high standards. Ruben is very clear about that. So is Jason. And it's something that we want to see with the players, with the staff, with everyone, because what we want to do is to win and to start winning titles as soon as possible. Of course, adding players helps. We've seen the arrival of Brian and Mateo, San Diego, and they've adapted really well. We're going to see Brian play for the first time. I'm sure the fans will enjoy that. Mateos has already shown his quality, and Diego has shown that he's adapting very quickly, having just come from Paraguay. So all the signs are positive. We're cautiously optimistic, and we hope we're going to have a great season.
So he's saying we're cautiously optimistic, but also the players he's brought in, Cunha and Mbeumo, all these guys, they genuinely wanted Man United. Man United was their first option. And it looks like it's the same thing with Sesko, bro. It looks like it's genuinely the same thing with Sesko. He's a guy that really wants Man United. He's a guy that really wants to play for the badge. And those are the types of players you should be genuinely going for as United, because I think we are making progress, no doubt about it. The progress is there. Let's just see what we do in the coming days, right? This Sesko deal, it might be as long as the Mbeumo deal. It might genuinely be as long as the Mbeumo deal, because we remember the Mbeumo deal. It took so long just to reach an agreement, right? Obviously the way Man United negotiate, it wasn't necessarily the official fee for Mbeumo that took so long. It's just the add-ons, right? Agreeing those add-ons took so long. So let's see if it's another Mbeumo situation where this deal just takes maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But right now the bid is there, bro. The bid is there. Yes, there's a possibility these guys can reject it. Do I see us giving up? I think we've already committed, bro. We have already committed to this Sesko deal. And I genuinely do believe United, we're going to go all out for this guy, right? If they reject it, I think we'll go in for another bid, maybe add another 5 million, but we are going to go all out for this guy. And with Rasmus, bro, you are right. Rasmus, there's also some news about Rasmus Højlund. Erik ten Hag, former Manchester United manager, has inquired about Rasmus Højlund. Apparently he wants Rasmus at Leverkusen. So Rasmus, we might see a situation where we sell Rasmus, but after this massive window, it looks like we might need to genuinely just sell some of the guys we have. Garnacho, sell him. These other guys, sell them. But overall, we have money, bro. This just shows you that we do have money. You're bidding what, another 70 million pounds for another player, right? 73 million pounds, 85 million euros for Sesko. Let's see if they still have enough money for a midfielder, because that's what fans have been crying for. Okay, you're spending all this money. Do you still have enough for a midfielder? Do you still have enough for really, I think it's our most important position, midfield. So let's see how this actually goes. I think wages, Sesko won't be on massive, unbelievable wages. It's gonna be reasonable, bro. It's gonna be reasonable, bro. And Obi Martin, I think Obi Martin, we should send him out on loan, bro. I think we should send him out on loan. You say, hope we don't delay on this deal. Yeah, bro. I need a situation where Sesko just comes, right? Let's get this deal done this week, right? Because right now it's Tuesday. It's not unrealistic to get this done by Friday. By Friday, it's not unrealistic to get this deal done, right? Friday, you have this deal done, and then he's a Man United player. We're all celebrating. We're all happy about the situation, right? So at least by Friday, before our last preseason game, Sesko is in the building. He's training with the squad. That's the perfect situation. At least by Friday, we here we go. Saturday, he's with the squad. That's probably the perfect overall situation. But I have to credit Fabrizio Romano. This man has been on point. This man has been on target, and he's been keeping up to date, bro. And also with Donnarumma, nothing really to speak about from Fabrizio, but yo, he's been on point with this Sesko deal, bro.
It's on Benjamin Sesko to make a decision. Newcastle resented this bid, and as of tonight, Leipzig have still not said, okay, we accept the player is yours, because they know that it's Benjamin Sesko who will dictate this story. But Newcastle are playing hard. What I can tell you is that, as far as I'm aware, Manchester United reacted to this official bid from Newcastle by telling Red Bull Leipzig, again in verbal contact, we are aware of this bid, okay, from Newcastle, but we will also bid for Benjamin Sesko if he decides to come to us.
And this was Fabrizio Romano, bro. This was Fabrizio Romano yesterday. He said, no, we will also bid if this man decides to come to us. So Fabrizio Romano really hit it. He was on point, bro. The only way Man United were gonna make a bid is if the man decides to come to us. Let me play that again, man. Fabrizio Romano was on point. Fabrizio Romano was on point.
They know that it's Benjamin Sesko who will dictate this story. But Newcastle are playing hard. What I can tell you is that, as far as I'm aware, Manchester United reacted to this official bid from Newcastle by telling Red Bull Leipzig, again in verbal contact, we are aware of this bid, okay, from Newcastle, but we will also bid for Benjamin Sesko if he decides to come to us. So different strategies. Newcastle are going very strong, put the money on the table with an important proposal to the club, an important proposal to the player. Manchester United are still not presenting an official bid, but telling Leipzig and obviously also the player that they are ready to bid as soon as the player will decide. Different approaches.
So he said, this was yesterday, bro. He said, we're gonna genuinely make that bid if he decides to join Manchester United, right? That's the only way we make that official bid. That's the only way we go all out for this man. So, and here we are today, official bid in the building. A lot of people will complain about the amount, right? A lot of people will complain about the amount. They'll say, hey, how can you bid in 73 million pounds, 85 million euros for a striker that's not experienced? A lot of people will complain about the price tag, but I think we're just paying for potential and the fact that you also have competition for this man, right? So Fabrizio Romano broke it down massively, bro. He's agreed, bro. He's agreed. And these sources saying he has agreed to join Manchester United. There's concrete. There's so much concrete with those reports because Fabrizio, he did say we only make a bid if he agrees. And here we are today, bro. Official bid. I know some people are genuinely upset about the price, but the price, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. Sometimes, let's hope he does do well. I think Sesko, he will do well at Man United. He's an unbelievable talent. He's an unbelievable player. I think he has the capabilities to genuinely succeed. No doubt about it. Left foot, right foot, speed. We also see some type of dribbling from Sesko. So it's a great deal, bro. It's a great deal. Obviously, as fans, we wanted a situation where we pay a bit less, right? We pay a bit less for the player, but it is what it is. We're already here. We've paid the fee. Let's hope it's agreed, but you're paying for the potential. That's all I'm viewing this as. Of course, people will compare this deal to Rasmus Højlund. Look, we overpaid for Rasmus and it didn't work out. But overall, a lot of situations don't work out, right? Obviously, Rasmus, we overpaid. We paid a lot of money. It didn't work out. Some people say this is another Rasmus situation where you pay a lot of money for a player with lack of experience. But I think it's okay, man. You got to take the risks sometimes in life. Look at the position we're in. bro, we're not in a position to just dictate whether, okay, we don't need this guy. We sometimes you just have to pay for that potential, bro, because of the position we're in. You gotta just do whatever you need to do to get back to the top, bro. I think if Sesko starts banging goals, scoring goals, nobody will really talk about like the price tag, bro. It's only if he doesn't succeed that's when the price tag will come up. So let's hope when it does come, because I think this deal, I think we're leading the race. There's only one reason we've paid less than Newcastle, because we're confident that the player has agreed to join us, right? If it was a situation where Man United are panicking, they would have paid more than Newcastle, right? If that, and that's why Newcastle will move in so fast. That's another reason. That's another reason, because they're panicking. A club that's panicking, you overpay, you try and get the deal done quickly. Man United, we're just keeping it simple, bro. We're just keeping it calm. We know, Sesko, he's already agreed to join us, right? This man is coming. All we need to do is just keep it simple. We'll even bid below Newcastle, right? We'll offer you less money because we know the boy, he wants to come to Man United. So we're keeping it simple, keeping it calm, bro. Keeping it simple, keeping it calm. United, the man is coming. Benjamin Sesko. I think this is a massive statement, though. This is a massive statement, and Omar Barada, fair play to the man, right? We've been asking the questions of Omar. Omar, what's really going on? Omar, why isn't there a bid for a striker? Where's the striker? And now they've made that official bid for United. We just need to keep it simple, keep it calm. Let's just relax. The guy looks like he's coming. And now you can also focus on a midfielder, because I will be shocked if we go into this season without a midfielder. Obviously, Ruben Amorim, we've heard what he's been talking about in the midfield. I need somebody dynamic. I need somebody with energy. I need somebody that can genuinely cope with the pace of the Premier League. So I think midfielder, it might be a Prem experience. Somebody with Premier League experience, right? Maybe I just pray that it is somebody like Baleba. With Baleba, bro, he has Premier League experience and the guy is quality. So I think that would be the perfect situation. We saw that Edison, he's about to sign a new contract with Atalanta. So the Edison situation might not genuinely happen. So let's just pray, because this Sesko deal, let's be realistic, bro. Let's be realistic. When we were hearing Mbeumo to Man United rumors, striker, we thought it was gonna be Gyökeres, right? It was a lot of noise about Gyökeres, a lot of noise about Hugo Ekitike. We didn't really hear a lot about Sesko. Maybe that's the same situation with the midfield. Right now, we're not really hearing a lot about Baleba to Man United. Maybe right after we secure this striker, we'll start hearing noise. We'll start hearing noise of the real target, because nobody was really talking about Sesko to Man United when we were trying to get a Brian Mbeumo. Nobody, right? Nobody. Not even Fabrizio Romano was even giving hints of Sesko, because Sesko, he was being linked to like Arsenal and things like that. So it might be another situation like that, bro. I genuinely see us keeping it simple, bro. Keeping it simple. You're saying we're not going to sign Baleba for 8 to 100. Let's see, bro. Obviously, as fans, that's gonna be like your dream signing. Okay, somebody with Premier League experience, somebody that with quality in the midfield, somebody with that can just take us to the next level. As fans, that's gonna be your dream midfield target, your dream midfield signing. But let's see, bro. If they do go for somebody, let's hope they are quality. Whoever you bring in the midfield, let's hope they are quality. Obviously, we've been hearing noise about Douglas Luiz on loan. That might happen. We don't know, but we can see the trend with Man United. If we look back at the trend that United are genuinely doing, it's young with potential. Not really potential, but it's young players with quality, right? Young with quality. Look at Cunha. Cunha is young with quality. Mbeumo is young with quality. Sesko is young with quality. So it looks like that's the trend. If you keep that for the midfield, you're really cooking, man. We are really cooking. We are really going to that next level. And just happy that, okay, you've reached that situation where you are at least doing something, right? It's not a situation where Arsenal game, you won't have a striker. At least now, yes, it's a bit late. Some fans would have wanted to see Sesko in the US tour, but it is what it is. It looks like we're trying to get it over the line before that Premier League season starts. And although I don't agree with this doing one deal at a time, right? I don't agree with the way we've been moving, doing one deal at a time, one deal at a time, one deal at a time. I think we should have been in a situation where you're trying to do multiple deals, right? Bid for a striker, bid for a midfielder, similar to Chelsea, man. Chelsea are doing multiple deals at the same time. I think that's how United should be moving. Okay, just try to get these guys over the line as soon as possible. It would have been great to just see some of these guys in preseason, right? Overall, it would have given us a better outlook of how the team will shape during the season, but it is what it is. Sesko, as long as he comes, bro, and as long as the striker comes, as long as the midfielder comes, we can wait as fans. Obviously, as fans, we had that mindset of, oh, we want to see this guy in the preseason, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. And Ruben, let's see how he plays Sesko, man. Let's see the instructions for Sesko, because we saw different instructions when Zersky was playing as a number 9. It was different instructions to when Hoyland was there. So we know Benjamin Sesko, his older, plays way better, and just as a player, he offers you way more. So we're moving, bro. We are moving, and just grateful that this guy has agreed personal terms, because that's the only thing I'm getting from this. And also just credit to Fabrizio. The guy has been active. The guy has been giving fans updates, this and that. We still need to a midfield update from you, Fabrizio. Please give us an update on the midfield. Which midfielder is really realistic? And yeah, let's just build a foundation, step by step progress. Because although some fans are gonna be upset, right? A lot of fans are gonna be upset about our last game. Our last game against Everton, we failed to win it, 2-2 draw, but we heard from Bruno Fernandes, a lot of the players were just moving lazy in that game, bro. The laziness, it wasn't what we wanted to see. You're saying he also agreed personal terms with Newcastle. I don't believe those rumors, bro. I don't genuinely believe those rumors, because it doesn't really make sense for him to agree with Newcastle and Man United, because I think he's given his priority to Manchester United, right? Man United, they don't really make a bid for a player that has agreed for both clubs. It doesn't make sense, bro. I think he's given his priority to us, and he's coming, bro. Let's go, bro. Let's go, because we needed a striker. We needed somebody to just come in and take us to that next level. Benjamin Sesko, I think he will do well. Let's hope he makes a massive statement. And United, bro, we genuinely needed this. We did genuinely need this, because I think after Ronaldo, we have been struggling for a striker, bro. Wout Weghorst never really delivered. After Wout Weghorst, Rasmus Højlund never really delivered. I think the only striker that was genuinely scoring goals is Cristiano Ronaldo, man. After Ronaldo, we've really been we've been struggling with goals, man, from our striker. So at least now you're in a position where you have a young and up and coming. That's the most exciting thing, because with Benjamin Sesko, just hearing what football experts have to say about him, this guy's the next big thing. This guy's the next major thing. So I'm happy that the deal is over the line, and let's see how this progresses, bro. Let's see how this progresses, and I hope in a few days this is officially confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. But hey, let's see. And Also, just wanted to just discuss a bit about the goalkeeping situation. We've been hearing these rumors of Donnarumma. Apparently, Man United are a bit interested in Donnarumma. Apparently, Donnarumma is interested in joining Man United, but I genuinely do think this is his agent. His agent is really pushing this news, because Donnarumma. Let's just keep it real. His wages. That's the main thing. Because even Sesko, he's not gonna be on massive wages. I think he's gonna be on lower than 150,000 a week. With Donnarumma, he's already on over 200K. I don't see him taking a pay cut, right? Donnarumma, it might be him to Chelsea. I think Chelsea, it makes more sense for Donnarumma because Chelsea are gonna pay him those wages. United, are we gonna pay him those types of wages? I don't see that happening, bro. I genuinely don't see that happening, but we're moving well. We're doing what we need to do and start moving for a midfielder. That's my main mindset. Of course, with Ruben, we heard what let me play a bit about what he had to say after the game, right? Because he had something extremely interesting. I forgot to also mention this before because Ruben Amorim had something extremely interesting to genuinely talk about, right? Ruben, after the game against Everton, this is what he had to say. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. There it is. After the game against Newcastle, Ruben Amorim had a lot to say, man. He had a lot to say. Wait, it's playing.
Ruben, the final game of the tournament out here in the USA. What did you think of that? I think if you talk about, let's talk about the tour. That tour, I think, was really important for us. Was perfect for us because we had time to work. In the end, to talk about this game, in the end, we have the feeling that we need to do a lot of work still. So it was a good tour. Today we don't play quite well. We struggle, especially in the build-up. We struggle with long balls and second balls from the opponent. So we have a lot to do.
So he's saying we struggle, and at least he's seen that mistake, right? That's the main thing I got from this from Ruben Amorim's interview. We struggle with the build up, and what should you do to actually improve that build up? I think a midfielder really does a lot, bro. We've heard from Ruben Amorim there himself analyzing that last game. At least he's seen the mistake, and then he's saying, okay, the build up. What can genuinely help our build up? I think a quality midfielder, bro. That's what really helps us. And I also saw the same mistake when we were watching the game. I was saying, yo, build up is it's a bit off, right? It's a bit off because even controlling the game, at least the manager saw that, bro.
Was this a helpful? The mood was really good. Was this a helpful reminder of how much work is still to be done before the season begins? I think was perfect. The way all happened was perfect. We play well, and then second game we play well. In the third game, we suffered the difficulties of Premier League, the physicality. We struggle in the build-up again. So it was perfect. Mason Mount scored up.
So he's just talking about build up, and that's why I think a midfielder is genuinely needed because at least the manager sees where we're lacking, where we need help in, right? That overall build up, bro. Because we saw some, in that game against Everton some moments where okay, the build up was a bit low. Of course, Mbeumo was driving with the ball extremely well, right? Brian Mbeumo was driving with the ball extremely well. But in the midfield, right, taking the ball from defense to attack, we need that midfielder to just at least carry the ball and control the midfield. We heard from the man, the build-up was a massive problem, bro. That's why you had situations where our midfield, they're losing the ball, whether it's Ogate, Kobe Maino, one touch, two touch, they lose the ball, or they get dispossessed. So the midfield wasn't really carrying the ball to the final third. That was the main problem, and the manager, at least he saw that. Okay, the build-up was really, really messing us up. And I think United, bro, we're gonna reach a situation where we're doing something, bro. You're saying misplaced priorities, bro. Wasting money on another unproven rookie. Our midfield. I agree with you, bro. I agree with you that midfield needs to be done. But I understand. Okay, some fans won't be happy with Sesko coming because they will say he's unproven, this and that. But I do believe we still have money, bro. Obviously, Ruben Amorim has seen that the midfield is the main issue. We heard it right here. The build-up is an issue. The build-up in the midfield is an issue. So he knows that midfield-wise, we need something. He's obviously told Omar Barada and these guys, and his previous interview, he said, I'm talking to these guys. I'm talking to Omar Barada. I'm talking to Jason Wilcox about what I need, what is genuinely. So I do believe we have money for a midfielder, bro. I think the budget is there. With Sesko, we were hearing from Fabrizio Romano saying, yo, we don't need to sell to buy him. But with a midfielder, we might just need to accumulate some money from Garnacho, because when you sell Garnacho, you can spend 3 times as much, right? Because he is an academy player with FFP. That's 100% profit. So it looks like they have a plan, bro. Because after this signing, I agree with you. We won't have enough money to buy a midfielder. But after we sell Garnacho, you can spend 3 times what you sell Garnacho for. So let's say we sell Garnacho for like 40, right? Let's just give a scenario. We sell Garnacho for like 40 million pounds, right? So Garnacho, that's what Chelsea want Garnacho for, right? 40 million pounds. So if you sell him for 40 million, you can spend up to 120 on a midfielder, bro. You can genuinely spend close to 120 million on a midfielder because Garnacho is 100% profit. I think that's how FFP works. So I think that's why they're calm about a midfielder, bro. You're saying we need 2 midfielders urgently. Yeah, I agree with you on that as well. At least just build a foundation in the midfield. You're saying and a goalkeeper to replace India and Onana, bro. India and Onana, because we saw in that game against Everton, India wasn't really too comfortable, bro. He wasn't really a midfielder way. He fills you with so much confidence. He fills you with comfort. It was really shaky from Altai. It was really shaky from Altai. But let's just hope we are doing what we need to do, bro. We are doing what we need to do. You're saying the build up and the playing out from the back. It is a serious issue. We heard from Ruben, bro. Let me try and just play a bit more. At least he sees where we're lacking, bro. He understands, and his press conference after the game, that's where.
Excellent. Brian Mbeumo's Manchester United debut. It was great seeing that front three of him, Mateus and Bruno. What did you think?
I think he played well. Of course, he needs to improve in a lot of things. You can feel it that the physicality of Brian is not perfect. That is normal. But the first touch, the way he turns and connect to the other guys, the runs that he made is really important. Is going to be really important in our team.
So at least we're building something, man. You can hear how he's talking about Brian and Mbeumo. Okay, the runs he makes, the first touch, what he's contributing. I think even Cunha offers that. We need a midfielder to just complete the set, right? Complete the set at least. Now we can genuinely see that, okay, Ogate, Kobe Maino midfield, it won't really work long term, bro. You're saying we need to fix and balance that midfield. Yeah, before that Arsenal game, I agree with you, because Arsenal, although they don't have the greatest ever midfield, but a midfield of right Zubamendi and Declan Rice, it does boss hours. If we play Kobe Maino and Ogate in the long run, we will get hurt. It's gonna hurt us, bro. It is gonna hurt us. That Everton game, it showed us a lot, because Everton, they were just targeting Ogate, right? Because they know Ogate, if he stays too long on the ball, he might lose it. So we saw that he was losing the ball a lot. Even Kobe Maino in some situations. So that Kobe Ogate partnership, long term, it won't work out. Bruno Casemiro partnership, long term, it won't work out. So the only solution is to try and bring in a midfielder, bro. Try and bring in a midfielder that is comfortable, that can genuinely offer you something better, right? some build-up play, some control. That's what we were lacking. We heard the manager, bro. That is what we were lacking. Yeah, Ish Binder was supposed to be like challenging Onana, but both of them, bro, both of them are horrible. We need a a midfielder and a goalkeeper, right? Because Altai, I don't trust Altai. I don't trust Onana. But at least we've made a move for our boy Sesko. We've made a move for our boy Sesko, and yo, welcome, man, welcome. I think they will accept it because we heard Fabrizio. He was saying the it's up to the player, right? Whichever club the player wants to go, that's the one RB Leipzig will accept. So two bids up and running for RB Leipzig. I think they accept ours. And I think he comes, bro. I think he does come. But hey, this just means we might sell Rasmus. We might genuinely sell Rasmus. Eric Ten Hag interested in him. A lot of Bundesliga clubs interested in him. Serie A clubs interested in Rasmus. So I do believe we sell Rasmus, right? Garnacho, he's gonna go to Chelsea. Looks like that is happening because Fabrizio Romano as well. He updated us on that situation. Hey, Garnacho, next week we'll start hearing noise, right? Next week we'll start hearing noise of Garnacho and Chelsea. But this week looks like it's just the Sesko news, man. Sesko news. I'm happy to just see that, okay, this guy, he is our main priority. He is the guy we're chasing. And with Ruben, he's getting his guy, bro. A lot of people will say this is not the man Ruben Amorim wanted, but I think it is, bro. I genuinely do think it is because we've heard Omar Barada. He's only doing what the manager wants, right? He's bringing in because every player that has come in, whether it's Mbeumo, whether it's Cunha, they fit the system of the manager, right? Every player that has come in, whether it's Mbeumo, whether it's Cunha, they fit the system of the manager. Brian Mbeumo, we've heard how Ruben was talking about him, bro. You're saying we don't necessarily have to break the bank for Beleba. Yeah, bro. And with Beleba, bro, I'm just saying this, right? Beleba hand in a transfer request, bro. Because yes, you're thriving at Brighton, but hey, hand in a transfer request, come to Manchester United. I think if he makes it obvious, Beleba, because Man United, you need to start moving a bit smarter, right? Give a proposal to Beleba, sell him the vision, and then tell him to hand in a transfer request, right? That's the best way to move, because if he hands in a transfer request, it makes negotiations easier, bro. It does. I think that's how Man United should start moving like Real Madrid, bro. That's how Real Madrid usually work, bro. They usually go to the player first, negotiate, tell the player to hand in a transfer request, and then they buy the player, bro. That's how they they usually work. You're saying Hackney and Fernandez from Southampton are good examples. Yeah, bro. We just need somebody competent as well. Somebody good, somebody competent, hand in a transfer request. And yeah, Fabrizio, I gotta credit him, bro. I gotta credit the man.
Strategies will always with one guarantee. When the player will make this decision, this story becomes clear. So it's on the player. Or it's eventually on one of the two clubs to say, okay, we leave the race. But as of tonight, Monday night, at the moment, Newcastle are presenting important money on the table, and Manchester United are telling Leipzig, don't worry, we will bid too. So at the moment, is far from being over. But
So Fabrizio was telling the truth, bro. He was saying, "Yo, don't worry, we'll bid too." And here we are today. We've already made that bid. And midfield, that's what you should be telling Baleba. Baleba, please make a transfer request. It makes it easier. If he does genuinely make a transfer request, I think we get him for even a 40 million, bro. Because a player that wants to leave 50, 60 million, I think we have that for a midfielder. I think we can spend that for a midfielder, but let's see. I just want a midfielder that can just improve the overall team, bro. I don't want a situation where the Arsenal game comes and then we're struggling in the midfield. I don't want another season where our midfield is just struggling week in, week out, right? That will be a horrible sight to see because we've seen that too many times, bro. Midfield struggling. Last season, it was a mess, bro. Midfield was a mess. At least just solve the issue, bro. Solve the issue right now because last season, it showed us that, yo, this midfield long term, it can't really be consistent. Long term, we can't really rely on this midfield. So, United, you gotta just take it up to yourself. After this Sesko signing, you get in a midfielder, and let's hope by next week we're saying here we go for both the striker and the midfielder. That's the perfect situation. That's the perfect scenario. But by Friday, I think something happens, bro. I genuinely do believe, yo, by Friday something does happen. I think this is an update from Fabrizio. Let me read a bit more on what Fabrizio Romano has to say. Yes, Fabrizio Romano just quoting what he genuinely had to say. So let me bring this in. A new video from Fabrizio, man. So let me bring this in. So this is Fabrizio recently, bro. Fabrizio Romano recently. Another video from Fabrizio, another update from Fabrizio Romano. So this is on the Sesko deal. Let's hear a bit more because a lot is happening right now, bro. A lot is happening right now. And the way while I'm getting this video for Fabrizio Romano, let me just play a bit about what Ruben Amorim had to say in his presser as well, right? Fabrizio Romano, thanks for the updates as well, man, because Fabrizio updating us. Let me get this video because it's still processing. Processing. So once it processes, let me just try and get this Ruben Amorim situation over the line, man. Ruben Amorim. But we're moving well, bro. I won't even lie. We are moving well. United, this is the situation we wanted to see ourselves in where players are coming, bro. Players are coming. That is the situation we wanted to see ourselves in where you're getting players over the line. You're getting guys over the... They're really coming. So you're doing what you need to do, right? We are doing what we need to do. Here it is. Finally processed. Let me put that on the screen, bro. Let me put this video on the screen. Fabrizio Romano, bro. This man delivers. Respect to Fabrizio. This man, he delivers, man. And his work rate as well. Yeah, it's insane. This video taking so long to process. Apologies, man. Apologies. There we go.
Manchester United, after calling and calling and calling Red Bull Leipzig over the recent days to tell them, don't worry, we are going to bid. Don't worry, we are going to bid. Get ready, we are going to bid. Now, Manchester United enter in scene. And Manchester United present an official bid, as Bill revealed today. The bid is 75 million euros plus 10 million euros in advance. So 85 million euros package from Manchester United after 90 million euros package from Newcastle United. Let's clarify some points. Manchester United bid 75 plus 10, 85, includes part of these add-ons being really easy to reach. You remember what I told you for Victor Gyökeres earlier this summer. Sometimes in the transfer market world, it's very easy to go and say numbers like 20 million euros, 10 million euros, 15 million euros add-ons. But then the add-ons can be very easy to reach, so almost guaranteed. Maybe when you play, I don't know, just for example, 5 games, 10 games, 15 games. Maybe can be quite easy to reach when you score 10 goals, 20 goals, 30 goals with the club, or maybe can be very difficult to reach, like win the Champions League, win the Premier League, or whatever. In some cases, are even like win the Ballon d'Or or these sort of things. So add-ons is not meaning guaranteed money. Can be almost guaranteed in some cases, can be easy in some cases, can be difficult in other cases.
So he's saying, yo, the add-ons aren't really guaranteed, right? Sometimes it may be easy, sometimes it might not be easy. So Fabrizio Romano just saying, yo, we made the bid, the add-ons, let's see how they negotiate the add-ons because that if the add-ons are extremely difficult, we're in a situation where we only pay 10 million less because those 10 million added add-ons, they're a lot. They are a lot, but let's see how United actually negotiate. Are the add-ons gonna be okay? If Sesko wins the Premier League, that's when you get your money, or are the add-ons gonna be okay? If Sesko plays 10 games, that's when you get your money. So it depends, bro. Some obligations really are the add-ons because we remember Jadon Sancho, his add-ons were some other type of Ballon d'Or. I think it was a Ballon d'Or, something like that. I think it was something like that. Either it was Sancho or Anthony, one of the guys, right? Their add-ons were okay. If this player wins the Ballon d'Or, that's when you get your 10 million add-ons or whatever. So let's see how they negotiate the add-ons, bro. Let's see how they negotiate the add-ons. But Fabrizio Romano keeping us updated, and with add-ons, I think that's what mainly dragged on the deal for Mbeumo. Those add-ons for Mbeumo, we remember with Brian Mbeumo, it was a situation where we're supposed to get this man over the line quickly, but then the add-ons, bro. So the add-ons. Let's see how long it takes to negotiate that. Let's see what the add-ons really state. But looks like we're in the business, bro. We're in the deal. He might be coming. So Sesko to United, that is realistic, bro. And after this, just do what you need to do because a striker, give this man a striker, give Amorim a striker, man, because he needs that. He genuinely does need a striker, right? Let me try and, because I'm failing to find this video. I'm failing to find this video. Um, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Let me just look for it here because Ruben Amorim was talking in his like presser a few days ago. He said something extremely interesting, bro. He said something extremely interesting. I just want to play that quickly and then see what.
No, just the feeling. I think we struggled today a little bit, so it's just not the feeling of
Oh, here it is. Here it is.
like
Let me just play it here. Here it is, man. Yeah, he said something interesting, man, because obviously he was disappointed, but I
see the game.
what's going on? It's buffering, but he said something in the lines of what building will start forming, something in the lines of that. Let me just play the thing. Something in
See
those
the game,
lines.
all the games from Everton. Even different midfielders suffer with this kind of game. They break
Yeah,
the team
different
with
midfielders. Yeah,
two center backs changing possession, and then they kick the ball, and then the second ball. Yeah, we struggle a little bit with that. Not just the second balls, but the first balls. And we struggle in the build-up, but we create chances, and that is really important to win any match. So you can perform. I don't like to say bad, but you can struggle a little bit in the game. But if you create chances, you can win even that kind of game.
Really, does that show the challenge that you've got for all the positivity that has been on tour? It's about doing it every single day. You can't just have a game and maybe the standards drop even tiny a little bit.
I think is normal in our club. If you play well, they will play. They will say that we play really well. Something in the opposite side is the same thing. So we need to be really consistent. We already knew that is not. We had 2 weeks. This will not change in 2 weeks, but we are better. Even in this game, we create chances, and that is really important. But of course, I think it's the perfect feeling to go back to Carrington. I think the momentum of the tour was perfect. So we had the weeks to work with a good environment, good feeling, and then we go back to Carrington, and we are near to start the season. We are going with the feeling that we need to do a lot of things.
Sam, Bruno's just been on NBC.
So he understands the outlet, man. The manager understands that, okay, this season a midfielder is needed, because just the way he's talking about the midfield, bro, we failed in the build up. So he knows the problem. He genuinely knows the problem. I don't believe that, okay, a manager like Ruben Amorim, he can't see what we were seeing as fans, bro. He sees the problem. He sees that, okay, that midfield is probably our main issue. He sees that, the build up, the way we're losing the ball in the midfield. He sees that, and it's just great to just hear him talk about that overall situation. And obviously, he's told Omar Barada that this is what I need as well, right? Somebody that can help us in the build up in the midfield, somebody that's tidy on the ball, doesn't really lose the ball a lot in the midfield, somebody that can control the midfield. We've heard what he was complaining about. Okay, we are creating a few chances. We are good in some areas. The way our attacking players are holding up the ball has improved. But that midfield, bro, that midfield, it genuinely needs to happen. And let's see what we do. But I'm just happy that, okay, this guy Sesko, he's coming, bro. He is coming. And overall, I just wanted to talk about this whole Sesko situation. Fabrizio Romano has also spoken about it. So let's see. I think in 3 days we might get an answer of whether I've been thinking 24 hours, right? In 24 hours, we will get an answer from our RB Leipzig. Is this bid going to be accepted? Are they going to genuinely say yes to Manchester United? I think in 3 days, even 24 hours, by tomorrow, because it doesn't take long to genuinely accept or reject a bid, right? We saw when Newcastle made their first bid, we heard the answer. They got rejected in like 48 hours. So I think right now, 48 hours, obviously, RB Leipzig, they're analyzing both bids, Newcastle's bid and our bid. So I think in 48 hours, we will have an answer whether it's been accepted or rejected. So, hey, this is a massive week, bro. This is a massive week. So let's see what genuinely goes on. But happy that, okay, somebody like Benjamin Sesko, you're actively going for him. The personal terms won't be an issue. Personal terms won't really be a problem. So, hey, shout out Fabrizio Romano for genuinely keeping it consistent, and not only Fabrizio, also David Ornstein. He dropped the bomb of, hey, United have made a bid, but Fabrizio Romano was saying this yesterday. He was saying Man United will make a bid. Man United will make a bid. And he came and delivered, bro. He came and delivered. Fabrizio Romano is delivering. So United, just back the manager. That's my viewpoint, right? Back the manager to a point where you're making it easy for him to succeed. That should be the mindset from Man United. I think it's that simple, bro. Right? Build a team where it's easier for the manager to succeed, because we have to be realistic. If you're going into a Premier League season in 2025 with Casemiro, sometimes Kobe Mano is inconsistent, right? We can see sometimes, hey, Ogate, he has a lot of bad games, some good games, some bad games. So you can't really set the manager up to fail like that, right? Hoyland, can we rely on Hoyland as a striker? Zerski, can we rely on him week in, week out as a striker? So just form a team where you make it easy for the manager to succeed. I think that is the mindset, bro. That should be the mindset, because at least Mbeumo, you've brought him in. Mbeumo will do a lot. From the first game, I can genuinely say, yo, I was satisfied with what I see, the way he drives with the ball and his composure. He's a bit rusty. I know fans expected him to be unbelievable, doing unbelievable things from day one, but he's a bit rusty, bro. He hasn't played a match, I think, in 2 months. The last Premier League game was what, 2 months ago? So he hasn't played a game in over 2 months. He's gonna be rusty, bro. He's gonna be rusty. Cunha, I think the manager did make a mistake by starting him as a number 9. He's better in the number 10 position where he can link up a bit more. But we heard after the game, the manager did say, yo, at least now you got a Sesko, right? No more Cunha as a striker, bro. At least now you're getting a Sesko because Cunha Mbeumo, I think that's the partnership we need in the number 10 positions because these are the guys that they want the ball, they want to create, they want to do something. They're not running away from the ball. I think with Cunha, we saw that against Everton. We took away from his game, right? His game was reduced just based on the fact that he's playing as a striker, man. So we are moving, man. We are moving. Let's see how we develop. Let's see where we go as a club. But yeah, shout out everybody that joined the stream, man. Sesko, let's hope we here we go from Fabrizio. But I'm completely happy with the way we're moving so far, man. Happy with the way we're moving. At least set the manager up for success. Set the man up for yes, future success. Because right now, bro, we've seen improvements, bro. One Everton game shouldn't take away from the improvement we saw against Bournemouth, the improvement we saw against West Ham. And we also heard from Bruno Fernandes. It's just laziness, bro. The players, they knew we've already won this trophy. That's not really overcommit in some challenges. That's not really overpress because we saw in that Everton game the pressing it reduced. If you compare the two games, bro, if you we compare the genuinely two games, you saw the pressing was better in the in the Bournemouth game than it was in the Everton game. Right? Bruno Fernandes said it. Yo, so these players, they were just feeling a bit lazy, bro. They won the trophy. It is what it is. It's a friendly. So they went out there barely pressing, barely doing this. And that shouldn't be the mindset. I think the mindset in the season should be keeping the consistency, right? Every game you're pressing at the same level. Every game you're playing at the same level. So at least we have that over the line. And just shout out everybody that joined the stream, man. Man United, we're doing our business. Let's hope, and here we go by this week. Let's hope we're seeing him officially announced by Saturday. And yeah, we're moving, man. We are moving, man. We are moving. Are we still live? Let me just check this.